So take us into the jury deliberation room. Like, how long did it take was everybody in agreement that she wasn't at fault, or did it take some convincing?
We were all in agreement. So it took us about 2.5 hours, and it was a very interesting time. I think we had all waited 2 weeks to speak to each other. That's just crazy to see something and hear all this evidence and the law, and then wait 2 weeks and finally get to talk to each other. It was really interesting to see we were all on the same page.
But, okay, so it took you 2.5 hours. I mean, what took so long if you got in there and you were all on the same page?
That's a good point. Well, there was 9 questions. So we had a lot to decide. And it was really hard to say that Terry Sanderson was at fault because, you know, it seems like just an accident, right? So I think that was probably the hardest part of it for us. But I think right off the bat, it took us, I don't know, less than 20 minutes to say that Gwyneth was not at fault.
And so was there a particular moment in the trial that convinced you? Was there some compelling evidence where you figured, okay, it's not her fault?
I think her testimony really made sense, and I felt that she was telling the truth. However, there was a lot of evidence provided. I mean, this is 8 days of evidence. So I think hearing her expert witness, Dr. Scher, really brought it home for me, at least, to hear him validate that her version of the story was actually the most likely.
And was there a moment where you ever thought, but she's an award-winning actress, maybe she's, bluffing?
Absolutely. I mean, I had to keep that in the back of my mind. But then at the end of the day, we have to treat everyone the same in the courtroom. And I think that's our job as the jury, is to look at all these individuals and, forget what they do for a living or anything like that and say this is a person and we have to treat them all equally.
When you were called for jury duty, at what point did you realize, oh, I'm going to be on a jury with Gwyneth Paltrow as the defendant? When did that realization happen?
I don't think I realized that till I actually got into the courtroom on the first day and saw her, because when they said her name, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Somebody else would name their child Gwyneth Paltrow. Surely she's not in Summit County. That makes no sense. So I was pretty shocked.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. That's amazing. And one last question. There was some talk about how Terry Sanderson's attorney seemed to be kind of taken with Gwyneth, like seemed to be asking her lots of sort of starstruck questions. Did you get that impression when you were in the jury box?
It was interesting because that was the first female attorney to get on the stand. And so I couldn't tell if it was just because she was female or if it was because she was starstruck. And I couldn't really tell, but there was more light to that testimony than any of the other ones. And it was pretty entertaining, I will say.
Yeah, I bet. Well, Sam, thank you very much. Thanks. I really appreciate you taking us inside there. I bet that was a fascinating 8 days. So we've been watching and we really appreciate getting your perspective.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here. All right, I'm back with my panel now, Mondaire, Essie, Joe, and Patrick. Yes.
Can we get her to New York by Tuesday?
Our jury, our jurist?
Yeah,
yes.
jurist.
Oh, yes.
To New York.
Yes.
There's something going on. I liked just the way she talked about, the jury doing their job.
Yes,
and
she needs to be on the grand
going
jury.
Through the evidence.
The Trump grand jury.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you two were entertained by this story.
Brava to Sam, because it is so hard to take this trial seriously, and she did. Obviously, as a juror, that's her job. But, and I'm going to put this out there. My husband will be very pleased that I am sharing his conspiracy theory.
Oh, great.
He believes that this was scripted and it's going to be a movie. And we're all going to find out because the characters were so crazy and weird and eccentric.
So we're going to find out there's a reality show that Gwyneth Paltrow is starring in.
This is his theory. I disagree.
They can get in a lot of trouble for that, a lot of legal trouble.
Yes, yes, obviously. But
But it would be a fun plot.
But it's so wild. The quotes were wild. Both attorneys.
Next thing you're going to know, AI is going to write the script, right?
That's right. Or maybe
That's the next part.
Or maybe it did already.
Maybe it already did.
Okay, but she was talking about the plaintiff's attorney, who we were wondering if she was starstruck. So let's just play 20 seconds of this so everybody can get this impression.
You were wearing goggles, a helmet.
Yes,
Okay, kind of looked like everybody else on the slope.
that's always my intention.
Okay. Probably had a better ski outfit, though, I bet.
I still have the same one.
May I ask how tall you are?
I'm just under 5'10".
Okay. I am so jealous.
I think
'cause
I'm shrinking though.
You and me both. I have to wear 4-inch heels just to make it to 5'5".
Well,
so.
they're very nice.
Oh, thank you.
I was yelling at him.
Patrick, what's happening there?
I mean, that's just A+ right there from Gwyneth. I mean, that is just too good. I mean, talk about a performance right there. But you know what? In all seriousness, I mean, I give her credit for saying, you know, this is absurd, right? That this guy brought this
For
this
going
case.
through with the trial
For
and
going
not
through with it
settling.
and just say, they had an accident on the ski slopes. I mean, come on. This happens all the time. And this guy had a, you know, then in between the time when the accident actually happened and he was supposed to have had all these issues, right? He's hiking, he's zip lining, he's whitewater rafting. You know, that was on his social media. So,
But critically, he lost his taste in wine tasting, right? I think that was one of the
Well,
damages.
that was one of,
Well,
okay.
excuse
All right, I
me,
missed
she
that.
also lost half a day of skiing, so please.
I just think
Joe?
at some point we're just gonna stop calling things a hot mess, a whole mess. It's just gonna be a whole goop, right? It's just just
that's gonna be the
into
new-
perpetuity. Just it's a goop.
It's a goop.
It's a goop. Call it a day. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought that attorney, that was a tactic. I thought that was a strategy.
To do
butter-
what?
To get her comfortable. I've been deposed, and I've had attorneys try to sort of like soften you up, and I know you're a pro Miss Cups or you're used to this, and then they try to get you to relax. I think that's what she was
was like
doing.
something
I thought it was too. I mean, so, and I've said this before. I thought that at least that was her original intention. Maybe that clearly that wasn't how it was perceived by many people in America. But my sense was she was trying to sort of not just disarm her, but also to make it seem to the jury that this is actually someone who's an unusual woman, right? Because, you know, she's famous and she doesn't live the life that the rest of us live. And I thought that was the angle she was trying. But it seemed to the contrary that she was just fawning over her, I think.
Well, it's also that old theory: a half truth is a whole lie, and it's like, see, Jacques, she won't even tell the truth about how tall she is, right? And so it becomes a whole
shrinking.
thing.
That was his problem, in fact. He got caught lying about his height. The whole thing was crazy.
Well, you guys have a lot to say about it, which I really appreciate. Thank you all very much.
Stay connected with us. Subscribe to Secret Society News official YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, comment, and share.